I just got to the stage of taking a shower for the day. I figured we'd sit down and have a discussion about some interesting things that I've seen this week in the metagame that are kind of worth addressing. I always told you guys we'd do metagame Mondays and things like that. Well, these are some interesting trends coming out of this week of the regional scene. And I'm going to just be honest with you guys. Yeah. So, let's dig on into this, shall we? Alright, so Deception, you guys might know, probably the first big innovator of the Boros or the attack dot deck, basically, is what Ed called it, and it's kind of stuck around with us. Well, last week, Ed ended up topping with Cyber Dragon Orchest. Him, Blair Hunter, and a couple of other players have been, looking at this deck and going, this deck is actually really insane in the current format. And this man went through and did it again this week. Blair officially has 3 regional tops of this. Ed now has 2 with Cyber Dragon Orchest, which this brings up an interesting Facebook post. He said he went through his entire regional day. Said he got Megafleeted 8 times, and he got system downed twice. Now in a 9-round tournament, do you know how insane this is? And so the interesting point to this is this brings up some interesting metagame stuff. This means that certain Sky Striker players are packing in just your essentials. Like, we're now playing Megafleet as a side or main deck option now in Sky Striker from certain players, which kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, seeing that these decks are, even if you don't play Cyber Dragon, the fact that you're heading towards this option now of maining it definitely says a couple things about the format. One, players at the regional level are a lot more scared of this deck than I actually thought. I knew that it was on the back of our mind, and that, at least in these regionals, that Cyber Dragon Orchest was this powerhouse, but to see that players are going to the point now of maining Chimeratech Megafleet index that you're not, supposed to main it for, really says something about the format. So in terms of development and things like that, Megafleet's price is probably going to start going up. I will be honest with you, considering that the card is literally in a set that costs $30 as a one-of, and seeing that the card isn't, much more than that, it definitely brings a couple of things to my attention here. So Megafleet tech choice to kind of counteract this, but it didn't work. Like, that's the thing. Like, players are doing this, but Ed's just smashing through. Like, Cyber Dragon Orchest, it doesn't care. Like, yeah, you can Chimeratech and eat off their field, but, like, they just recover so well. And on the topic of system down for this matchup, I get it. It's a good card, but, Infinity can negate it. Yeah, you can banish everything, but the sad thing is, like, Cyber Dragon Orchest is usually going to just OTK you. Like, that's what the deck is good at doing. Like, they opt for second, break your board and go. I guess you can make the argument that you make them go first and then system down them. In theory, that sounds like it puts you in a good position, but, it just, the way it's looking, it's just not enough at this point in time. So, TLDR there, system down to Megafleet are excellent side deck choices, but against good players, it's honestly just not enough, I don't think. Now, coming out of New Zealand, we actually had Ballpark OTK. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Seeing insects do anything is insane, alright? When was the last time? Oh yeah, Insectors. So I've looked through this deck profile, and I'll probably cover it on the channel tomorrow, but I was like, what's going on here? So, Giant Ballpark, alright? During damage calculation, you can make the battle damage that both players receive from that battle 0. If you do, you can send 1 level 4 lower insect monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then if the monster you sent was a normal monster, you can special summon as any number of cards with the same name as that monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And if a monster you control is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 insect normal monster from your graveyard. This deck was packing in Doom Dozers. I saw the Inzektor link in this thing. My whole general consensus of this was, what is going on here? Now, I believe the deck did lose in top 8 at its event. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's New Zealand, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter if it's, worth crediting or not. It did something. And that's why we love this game. We get to see crazy stuff like this happen every blue moon. So, yes, Ballpark showing up and just doing something. That was really cool. Now, coming out of Philadelphia this weekend was a 5th place Paleozoic Frog deck. Now, the reason why I wanted to mention this is because Philly Regionals are the second biggest regionals in the U.S. Sometimes they'll tighten with the California regionals, which will pull 700 plus people. Philly usually pulls anywhere from 400 to 700, all right, which is insane considering the amount of players and things out there. But to see that Paleos did so well at an event of usually that competitive of a structure really also caught me off guard. I understand that Dynamiscus, totally awesomes, setting up generic boards and things like that are usually really, really powerful things. So basically, I'm going to credit it to the trap lineup, the stun aspect of the deck. You gotta love stun, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing these engines that are able to slow down the game, disrupt the opponent, yeah, that's always what Paleo's been about. And depending on his first or second matchups, I mean, you have to make decisions when your opponent's winning those dice rolls. Set 5 isn't always going to be the most beautiful thing if you're on that kind of house of brick, but it really just depends. So, Paleo Frog coming out this weekend, which was really interesting nonetheless. Now, coming out of, I believe it's Lovelock, Texas, we had a going second Orcust list. And for what I can tell you, 95% of Orcust at this point has been going first, with the exception to Cyber Dragon Orcust. Cyber Dragon Orcust, doesn't care. They'll continue on with their play. They'll eat through whatever you've set up. It's the real big advantage that you kind of get with that deck. But seeing that somebody has pushed the concept of this and developed a going second version, we've definitely seen, and I'll be honest with you guys, the concept of going second is incredibly strong. When somebody's able to literally crack that code and is able to play the game, then that means the format no longer matters. Those big turn 1 boards that you see be set up, they don't matter anymore. And that's the incredibly cool thing when you see a format start shifting to the going second, because then that means that the power scaling that we've seen in that format doesn't matter anymore. We've done it. So that's generally something interesting. Just seeing how formats are developing, seeing how players are counteracting these things, and you'd be surprised really how important it is to have going second decks besides Mech Knight, because I still can't believe Mech Knight topped last weekend. That's a story for another day. And the last thing I'm going to put on this list worth talking about is the Nimble Orcust deck that you guys saw on this channel in the last 2 videos. That was filmed last Thursday at Locals. I do have the deck profile. I will get that uploaded for you someday, probably next weekend. Usually is when I kind of like to save stuff like that. So here's the thing about that deck. He's not the first one to do it. We had Nimble Angler, who was doing things during the Extra Link format days. And it's seen play. Oh man, he said somebody else came up with the technique, and I do believe that. There's no strange part of my imagination, but something that you don't see mainstream. Nimble Angler not being once per turn is hard bottomed in the sane. I'm just making up terms at this point. It's good, all right. Spam. The meme going around. Any two monsters is full Orcust combo. Absolutely, it is, baby. Silver Gadget plus Red Gadget is full Orcust combo. Actually, come to think about it, Any 2 Blackwings is full Orcust combo, This is just another example of how generic the Orcust engine is. I'll be honest with you guys, I wouldn't be surprised to see this deck get hit just in the near future, just because of how generic it is. They'll probably just go straight after Dingrisu at this point. Just put the nail in the coffin there. Like, I always joke that Mermaid was the point. No, I was serious. Mermaid was the issue. Still is. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's all I got for this video. Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Deuce Arinos. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.